Ever feel like your cells are in an epic battle against, like, microscopic ninjas?
Right.
Because today, we're diving deep into how zebrafish, of all things, fight off viruses.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, it makes the human immune system look a little bit, well, basic.
Yeah, and it really makes you think, what else is out there? This 2005 paper we're looking at, it's from the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, and it basically revealed this whole other way that organisms, at least zebrafish, can tackle these infections.
Okay, so zebrafish, viral infections. You said something about weird DNA.
Oh, yeah, it all comes down to this really strange type of DNA, like almost mythical. It's called Z-DNA.
Right, you've officially piqued my interest. We're talking viruses, weird DNA. Give me the science lowdown. What's the deal with these zebrafish?
Okay, so picture this. You've got a virus, right? And it invades a cell.
Yeah, classic viral move.
You're right. So the cell is obviously freaking out.
Understandably.
Totally. And it slams on the emergency brake. Gotta stop that virus from replicating and wreaking havoc.
Makes sense. Cut out the virus's supply lines.
Exactly. And we've known for a while now that in us, in mammals, there's this protein called PKR. It's basically the hand that slams on the brakes.
Okay, so that's us. But how do zebrafish fit into all of this? And what about that weird DNA you mentioned?
That is the million-dollar question. See, this research uncovered that zebrafish have a protein, like PKR, that does the same job. It stops the virus dead in its tracks, but it goes about it in a totally different way.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How so?
Well, instead of relying on the usual signals, the zebrafish protein, they call it PKZ, it binds to this left-handed form of DNA. That's the Z-DNA.
Hold up. Back up a sec. Left-handed DNA. I thought DNA was always that classic double helix, the one that's always twisting to the right.
You're right. Most DNA is right-handed, but Z-DNA, it's like its mirror image flipped. It's way less common, and it's not just some random thing. This left-handed twist, it takes more energy for the cell to make it, so it's got to be important for something, right?
Yeah, why go through all that trouble if it didn't have some kind of purpose?
Exactly. And scientists think Z-DNA plays a crucial role in regulating our genes, like an on-off switch. It's like a whole secret language within our cells. And this zebrafish protein, PKZ, it's tuned in.
Okay, you're killing me with the suspense here. How'd the researchers even discover this PKZ protein and its role in all of this?
So they were looking at PKZ, and they realized it actually shares some really interesting similarities with PKR, the one we were talking about before.
Yeah, the emergency brake in mammals?
Exactly. Remember how PKR is part of this family of proteins? They're called EIF2 kinases. They're like the master regulators for protein production.
Right, they can hit the pause button if something seems off.
Exactly. And guess what? PKZ, also an EIF2 kinase.
No way! So zebrafish have their own version of this protein family.
It seems so. Though instead of directly sensing viral RNA like PKR, PKZ seems to be activated by what happens to Z-DNA when there's a viral invasion.
So the zebrafish evolved this whole other way of sensing danger. They're like, Z-DNA going haywire.
Yeah.
Sounds like trouble.
Yeah, it's like their own internal alarm system, but instead of blaring sirens, they're switching up DNA.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But how can we be sure that this PKZ protein actually works the same way as PKR, stopping those viruses?
Good question, right? So the researchers did these really cool experiments. They exposed zebrafish cells to a molecule that basically mimics a viral infection.
Tricked them into thinking they were under attack.
Yeah, exactly. And just like they thought, PKZ was activated. It shut down protein production, just like PKR does in us.
Wow. So the zebrafish cells were like, red alert, red alert.
Exactly. And to really confirm that the Z-DNA binding was crucial to this whole thing, they created a mutant version of PKZ that couldn't bind to Z-DNA at all.
Oh, I bet that didn't go well.
Not at all. The mutant PKZ, nowhere near as effective at stopping protein synthesis, like cutting the brake lines.
So the virus just ran wild.
Basically, it really hammered home that this whole Z-DNA connection is legit.
I'm still wrapping my head around this left-handed DNA. It's like some kind of secret society of molecules just hanging out in our cells.
I know, right? And get this paper, it mentions that there's actually a protein in pox viruses, like smallpox.
Yeah, not exactly known for being friendly.
Right. Well, this protein in pox viruses, it also binds to Z-DNA.
Wait, so you're saying both a virus and a fish have evolved to use this rare form of DNA. What are the odds? It's like this whole hidden world of like molecular espionage going on and we're just catching on?
Right. It really makes you think about how much we don't know yet.
Exactly. So we've got zebrafish using Z-DNA as a defense mechanism, and then on the other side, you've got these pox viruses using it to cause chaos. It just begs the question, why the difference? Why did fish and mammals go down these totally different evolutionary paths when it comes to fighting viruses?
Yeah, it's a really interesting question. Like, if the Z-DNA thing is so effective, why didn't we stick with it?
Right. What the researchers think about this whole thing.
So they had a couple of ideas. One was that maybe, over time, fish viruses evolved ways to dodge the typical defenses that target double-stranded RNA.
So fish had to come up with a whole new game plan.
Exactly. They had to level up their defenses to keep up in this arms race against the viruses.
Makes sense? Always stay one step ahead.
Right. And their other thought was, maybe, just maybe, Z-DNA itself behaves differently in fish cells compared to mammalian cells.
Oh, interesting. So it's not just about the viruses, but how the cells themselves are using Z-DNA.
Yeah, like maybe it's more common in fish, or maybe it's involved in different cellular processes, which would make it a more obvious target for an antiviral defense system.
It's like they looked around their cellular toolkit and were like, what can we use to fight these viruses? Oh, there's Z-DNA. Let's try that.
Yeah, and that's what gets me so excited about research like this. It's like we think we have a pretty good understanding, and then boom, we uncover something totally unexpected that throws everything we thought we knew into question.
It's like finding a secret passageway in an ancient library.
Right. And this one paper, it didn't just reveal a secret passageway, it opened up this whole new section of the library that we didn't even know existed. It's pretty amazing.
And who knows what other secrets are hidden in there, just waiting to be discovered.
Exactly. This research sparked so many new questions about Z-DNA, about its potential roles in everything from viral defense to gene regulation. And it makes you wonder, what else haven't we found yet?
It's both exciting and a little bit humbling, Like for every answer we find, a dozen new questions pop up. But that's the beauty of science, right? It's about embracing the mystery and constantly pushing the boundaries of what we know.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap up this deep dive into the incredible world of zebrafish, viruses, and the enigma of Z-DNA.
Until next time.
Stay curious, everyone.